Netflix has committed a hate crime against Avatar: The Last Airbender. This is a cartoon that I grew up loving, and I watch it on repeat still. And now with the second season of their live-action adaptation on Netflix, they've announced casting for the role of Toph, who is Aang's earthbending instructor. She's also, in case you're unfamiliar, blind in the show, and she is also a very tomboyish character, and that is something that's relevant to her character arc. But in pure Netflix fashion, they decided that that was not relevant, and they were going to arbitrarily change it or get rid of it. This is what they've been doing the entire time. So with Sokka's character in the first season, we found out that they were going to get rid of his sexism, because that's just bad. We don't want any of that. And that was another character arc completely removed from the show. And then they were just picking, like, actors that I felt were offensive to the character. They picked this mid-chubby girl to play Sokka's girlfriend, who was literally a moon goddess. It was just gross.
So a moon goddess, not a mid-chubby.
Not a mid-chubby, no. And this entire thing, like, I never even attempted to give it a chance. I watched like maybe the first episode and gave up halfway through because it's just so awful. But it's not an offense to the girl who took the role of Toph. Her name is Maya Check. I'm not sure how to say it. She posted on Instagram about the announcement saying, "I've spent the past 5 years hoping for just the opportunity to audition for the role of Toph. And twice as long being a fan of the original series. I'm still pinching myself. Thank you to Netflix and my amazing castmates who have welcomed me into this family with open arms."
Okay, I don't know if I believe that they're just like, oh, this is exactly the role I've been spending the last 5 years just hoping to be able to audition for. I don't know if I believe that.
Well, she's currently 18.
So she's too old to play the character anyways.
Auditioning for, a character that is, I think, like 12 to 14 throughout the series.
It's like me saying, like, I always wanted to play one of the kids in the remake of The Mighty Ducks, and I am now finally going to get that opportunity, even though I'm in my late 30s.
Yeah, and
if there was a Little Rascals, reboot, dude, I'd be in that. No question.
I mean, they should do that.
Yeah, I'd be all over that.
Just get the original actors and make them all adults.
That'd be great. And they're all alcoholics. That'd be awesome.
They could do. Did you see, I saw this thing the other day that apparently the Mighty Ducks TV show was so bad that there were so many problems that Emilio Estevez wrote like a script to make a fourth Mighty Ducks movie, and Disney said no. They're just like, we don't want
like
to.
The fourth movie would be an I'm sorry.
No, it was like an I'm sorry to the fans by like doing it right this time. And Disney was like, we don't want to
do a 2-hour apology. I'd accept that as well.
Disney's like, we don't want to say sorry to the fans. So anyways, continue.
This is from a red carpet interview that she gave about the character in the live action version. She said, "My version of Toph is going to be a little older and slightly more feminine. I feel like I wanted to work into a very humanizing space for her because, she was a cartoon." So
what does that have to do?
I don't
with
know
it,
what
though?
that means.
I mean, there are challenges. Like, were there like any cartoons that you watched growing up?
Right, I was thinking Ed, Edd n Eddy was a big inspiration.
So, like, cartoons are unique in that if you're going to adapt them to live action, there are challenges there. But that doesn't seem like what she's talking about.
No, it seems like she's implying taking the tomboy aspect of this character out of the equation is a way to humanize her.
Yeah.
Which is a pattern of behavior in Hollywood I've noticed, where they continue erasing tomboy characters in favor of making it a trans character, making it a queer character for representation purposes. And there is a full-on war on tomboys, Toph being one of the most iconic examples. But here were some of the tweets about it. "I don't mind Toph being more feminine in theory, but the point is that she chose not to be. Her whole character was built around rejecting traditional gender roles and societal expectations that were forced onto her, especially when it came to the idea of femininity." I hate to say it, but I agree. Like, that is actually the point of her character, is that she, like, sees being a tomboy as a representation of her confidence and, like, strength, or her ability to fight. She has a lot of masculine traits That's
You know what
fine.
you know what it is like Hollywood has been kind of going back and forth with the fans about like they're like we don't want the girl boss anymore. We want more feminine, soft characters. They're like, fine, we'll do that.
Let's just
except
take
for
all
on
the
one.
existing tomboy characters and ruin them.
They're like, but the only way we'll do it for you if we get to ruin another subgenre that you actually like.
yeah,
Yeah,
they
that's what
take
they're
a
doing.
sick thrill in it.
Yeah. And it's a meme at this point that if Netflix is going to adapt something that it's likely going to be horrible.
Yeah.
In a lot of
Or
ways.
if anyone adapts anything, it doesn't matter anymore. But they even have a whole episode dedicated to analyzing this part of her personality, where she goes out on like a girl's day out with this more feminine character, Katara, and then they like come back from it and have a discussion where Katara is like saying like, I know you're blind, so it doesn't matter, but you're really pretty. And you can see that Toph really needed to hear that.
Okay. Well, I mean, Matt Murdock is blind, and he ends up with nothing but hot women in Daredevil. So I don't think being blind is even.
But does he know whether or not he's handsome?
I'm assuming he does, considering he actually picks up
Yeah.
the women.
You can
I
just feel
guess.
your face.
Like,
and-
I guess he's a
yeah.
lawyer
Yeah.
too. He's a lawyer too. So.
Yeah.
I mean, in the show, the joke is like women approach him because they think it'll be like he'll be somehow less shallow.
No, they like his sunglasses.
But they think he'll be less shallow, but he's like,
Right.
I don't need to be less shallow to know which women are attractive based on how people around them treat them.
Right. Yeah, I
That
know-
was the same thing. The character. Do you remember Covert Affairs? Augie was blind, and he kind of said he would say the same thing. He's like, I know which women are attractive by the men that approach them.
Okay.
Well, and also the blind. I
Yeah.
mean, I hate to say it, but they're pretty shallow themselves. Like I knew a blind guy in college, and this is Exhibit A. I'm not making this up. He would judge other blind people like how blind they actually are. He's like, oh, he's a seer.
Like he didn't believe
He's
that.
like, yeah, he's got some.
He thought they
vision.
were faking?
Yeah, he's like, he's got some.
What do you
vision.
mean?
Oh, dude, yeah, they're shallow as a kiddie pool, dude. I'm telling you.
What?
Yeah. Oh,
Well,
it's a
maybe
whole
just
thing.
that guy.
I'm 1 for 1 so far, so
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know any
Like,
blinds, but
I mean,
I feel like the heuristic that you just mentioned wouldn't work today because men don't like talk to women today.
But maybe
That's not a thing anymore.
maybe if you're blind, you won't have the same hangups that somebody who can see would be. Like you feel like you already have like an interesting in the
Right.
discussion.
Uh-huh.
You've got a good hook.
you got like 10 pickup lines you can
Yeah.
choose from.
Not
so.
that I would ever opt for that. I don't personally want to be blind. But another ironic thing is that there was an episode of the original animated series called The Ember Island Players,
Okay.
where they watch a play about themselves in this foreign like beach town, and they completely miscast all of them like egregiously bad. So Toph is cast in that play as like this gigantic like 7 feet tall bodybuilder instead of being a 12-year-old girl because of the way people talk about her as being so tough. And like they miscast all of them. Like Aang was played by a woman because he's seen as like playful and
Are there,
flamboyant.
Are there supposed to be like not this specific example, but I mean like the closest thing I could think of would be like Mulan in recent years with the
Her cross-dressing.
yeah.
Well, what would they do with that storyline?
No, I'm
now?
just saying,
with
like-
the live action Mulan, they didn't change it from what I understand.
No, they did not. But I don't think they were going to change it for that one because of the cultural element of the show. I think they tried
because
to.
it would offend China.
Yeah,
and they needed China.
yeah. At that time,
They
did.
needed China box office for that one.
They did at that time. Yeah. Yeah. Like what's a cartoon or like an animated series you'd like to see adapted to live action? Because we're gonna talk more about like
tough.
live act, more about like reboots and revivals later, but not necessarily related to.
Yeah.
Well, the casting would be a nightmare, but cars would be sick because you'd have to find talking cars.
Well, you
I mean,
just-
it could just be guys in cars.
like wearing like car costume.
Brought to you by the producers of the Fast and the Furious.
It'd be so sick.
Cars live action.
Because like they did it when I was a kid. All the live actions were bangers. Like the Scooby Doo movies were fire.
Oh yeah, I mean
Yeah.
they're redoing Scooby Doo right now, and they're like you cannot cast a better Scooby Doo than what they did in
Yeah,
like
you
the
can't.
mid 2000s with like Linda
Yeah.
Cardellini, Matthew Lillard, was it Sarah Michelle Gellar, and who was
I never ended up watching it.
Freddie Prinze Jr.
Right.
Like you can't do better than that.
can't.
So they went back to animated for that one.
Yeah, you got it. Sometimes
So-
you gotta go back.
All right. Well, I mean, I don't see this helping the show at all, and
No.
it's become a meme when you adapt things for Netflix.
It's just like they kind of don't care because they know that they're Netflix and they don't have to worry about.
They don't. Like I just
The
saw the CEOs of Netflix both got huge pay raises. Theirs are
Yep.
well deserved because Netflix dominates the market. Apparently they said like we're doing so well we're not even going to announce new subscriber numbers because we're destroying the competition.
Wasn't that the big thing for a while though? They were getting hammered in the metrics.
No. Netflix, it was more like
They were always gaining
they were
more than they lost. But they were
spending-
losing a lot.
Because you
They
see the article, they
spend-
lost a bunch, but they probably went
Yeah.
about, yeah.
They spend an incredible amount of money to
Right.
create, but all the other streaming services kind of live playing catch up to what Netflix
Sure,
is
yeah.
because it's become synonymous with streaming. Like
Yeah.
if the other services hadn't started sooner, we might not even be calling it streaming. We might just be calling it Netflixing.
I wish. I really
great.
do. I really
We're on the
wish
wrong
there
timeline.
Yeah.
were one streaming service for
To
everything.
rule them all.
One. Just get some huge conglomerate to.
It's almost like you get one
them all
company
up.
and they talk to all the channels and they're like, hey, we'll put you all on the same platform, and then they give you like a remote so you can go between the channels.
Well, most
be
of these
fantastic. I know it
most
never
of these
happened.
companies like they want their own streaming service because they thought that they were going to be able to attract as many people to them as Netflix did. But most of those companies don't have a catalog of like stuff they've made big enough.
We're just gonna loop full circle and reinvent cable. Like there's gonna be a service that's gonna come along like, hey, $80, we'll get you all the channels you want.
Well, there's Sling, right? That's
That's the
I-
button they put on your Roku. You click on accident all the time, and you're like,
Yes,
what is
that's
this
exactly what
bootleg?
it is.
This
Nobody
bootleg
ever uses it.
Chinese. Like, what is going
nobody
on here?
uses Sling.
Somebody like judged me one time because I posted the picture of my Roku that I bring with when I travel, and he's like, "This is a Gen this because of the buttons on the bottom." He's like,
Yeah.
"That's not the newest one because the newest one has
Okay,
these services
F
on the
you.
button." I'm
Like-
like, "Bro's got the knowledge." All
Like,
right.
can you imagine? It's like, yo, it's on Sling. Can you sling that real quick? Like, dude, get out of my house, bro.
I remember somebody once was like, "You got to watch Plex." I'm like, "That doesn't even sound real."
What is that?
It's another streaming service. It's like
You don't have Plex, dude. You gotta Plex it, bro.
Mubi.
You don't have Fubo? You don't have dildo.
It's on Boofu with ads.
Dude, it's on Fartcoin. Yeah.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.